Here we go. Again.
Again,
Already.
part two. Um, so Dylan made some coffee for us
It's
to
coffee at like what? 9 o'clock?
almost 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
But he made some coffee that way we can have like a little comfy because coffee is our comfort drink. Um, and before we were out and about because we had a gift card to use, we had to get some more stuff for the podcast, and we were just kind of running errands. So we stopped at the store, and we didn't have coffee creamer, so I picked out coffee creamer. And as I was putting the coffee creamer like in it, I was like, we both have like respective creamers that we use. And this is
Yeah.
such like a kind of like a boring thing for most
Oh,
people, but
so
like
boring.
when you're in like I don't know, when you're in a like healthy
Ever
committed relationship, something like this is cute because like I subconsciously picked out his favorite coffee creamer and mine and then put it in each of our coffees, like not even thinking about it.
well, like when we were first starting together, that that's what we do. We wouldn't go out. We'd stay home
Oh, and that's what your mom loved
and
about
we'd stay
us.
home and at Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
we weren't going out at all.
We would order like Hungry Howie's pizza
And we
and
make
make
some
some
coffee,
coffee, come upstairs, play a video game or
watch
watch
a
a movie,
movie,
and just kind of hang out. And
hang out together.
I remember your mom told us, she goes, "That's so comforting because I know you're not out and about like causing trouble."
Right. And so that's one thing it's stuck is the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So we continue to have it. And I figured it'd be a good idea to have some coffee while we do our second
I have like
episode. So
the smallest cup of coffee I can possibly have right now. Because after we record this, I have to take our kid to bed.
oh yeah.
And last night we also had
And she needs
coffee.
a bath.
And she needs a bath. But last night we also had coffee while we were recording, and I had a pretty decent sized cup, and I was up until 2 a.m.
Yeah, and that was just the coffee and us having technical problems resulted in this room is now called the Luke room. I
We need
haven't
to get a
forgot about that.
giant neon sign for it one day. Luke
Our
room.
coffee got lukewarm, and so I was like, I got lukewarm in the Luke room, and now so this is our Luke room.
Welcome to the Luke room.
That's going to transition over to your other podcast as well, Luke room.
Yeah, it will.
I'm gonna make a sign and everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be fun. So, do you want to get going on what got you flustered today?
Yeah, so while we were out and about, we were in the car or in the truck, I guess, and I was just like scrolling through my Facebook, and like you go through Facebook and you see like these bullshit like spam posts that like very early Gen X and boomers will like share or create
Boomer.
because they think it's like real. Because they're so gullible, and like I'm a gullible person too, so I get it. But like this is one I saw that just I absolutely was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. That's not how this works. And it says, if you are thinking of getting off of Facebook because of the volume of sales ads and trash stuff, hold your finger anywhere in this post and click copy. Go to your page where it says, what's on your mind? Tap your finger anywhere in the blank field. Click paste. This upgrades the system. Hello, new and old friends. That is not how you get rid of ads. They are there for forever. Your phone is listening to you to know what ads you want,
Can I see that?
especially
I
Facebook.
actually have never even seen it yet, but
I was like, what?
wait, what is it asking? Is it just the post?
It's a typed out post.
Oh my god.
It's not even like a picture or something that's going around. It is a typed out post from one of my family members, and I'm like,
Well, you know what's funny?
what are
Is
you
there's people
talking
that are
about?
in control of like how we regulations on internet,
Yeah.
and as it's getting kind of creepier now,
Yeah.
it's like we can understand that we have the understanding of how this stuff works.
Right.
We barely have the understanding of how AI works.
Yeah.
But somebody like this that thinks this is how this works,
Have you seen the ones
yeah,
where they're talking about how like Facebook can use anything off of your well, you don't have Facebook, but the
it's a
how
smart move. I recommend it.
when like anybody can use anything off of your page at any point in time for anything. And there's a post that's been going around for years where it's like if you copy and paste this and put it on your page, it does not give them permission to use anything. And I'm like, that's not how the internet works.
Like this post and you'll get $1,000
But it's
tomorrow.
like the internet is forever. Once something's out there, it's fucking out there. Like, once you put something on the internet, it's public.
It's the
Don't
internet's
put something on the internet if you don't want other people to use it or spread it around.
the internet's forever until everything's burned down.
Yeah.
Then the only thing that's left is physical copies.
The internet's forever. For now.
You don't know what I think.
You know who else is forever? My mom.
Who needs a soundboard? That's shit
God.
for
We are
goofballs and
we are
losers.
our own
Use
soundboard.
my soundboard as my throat.
My soundboard's my throat.
Oh,
So that's kind of just what was flustering me. Like social media generally, it less so now because I'm kind of less on social media now than I was when I was a teenager because it doesn't matter to me anymore.
no,
I have nobody to impress.
it's gonna all change now because we got this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be everywhere. We gotta get it everywhere.
Gotta get it everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Spread it around.
Oh, so there's gonna be a second. So there's gonna be a second podcast, and it's gonna be on Patreon, and you're gonna have to pay for it. It's called Hell's Sticky Popsicle, and it's gonna be about sex.
Sex.
I'm completely joking.
You horny bitches thought.
Thought.
Thoughts.
So since we're on the topic of like frustration,
Being flustered.
being flustered, being fuckered. Um,
Get fucked.
so one thing I have to deal with every morning, and this still, I am clueless at this, that this happens every morning. So I don't have to drive too far to work, but
You've got a really good commute compared to other people.
it's, it's what, 10 minutes, 12 minutes?
That's a good commute compared to what other people have to drive. There are people who drive like 2 hours to
No, no,
work.
that's what I meant. I was meaning like it's not that bad. I don't
That's
have to
why I
drive that
said you
far.
have a good commute.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like you have a pretty good commute, like it's like a
Like I was being
long time.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
No.
Um, but still, I run into people that are on, you know, this main road that besides the highway, the main road, everybody goes 60. But
Yeah, because
then
classically
you
you
get
go
the
5 over
conductors
the.
that are going like 50, and you got like a train of people behind them. This is at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Move it along, Grandpa.
Where I really doubt you're going anywhere just for the
at,
fun of it.
at 6 a.m.
At 6 in the
I
I
mean,
don't
unless you're old.
man, I don't work no more. I
Taking
wanna
your
feel like I was with the working
Yeah. I
folk.
mean, if you're old, you probably get up at 6 a.m. just for shits and giggles and take your dog out, go to the park and walk around and get your day started. There when I used to work at the outlet mall, I would get there at like 7 a.m. sometimes,
Yeah.
and there would be people power walking around the
Oh,
mall.
fuck.
And I'm like, and
I'm
it's
not a
like
morning person.
it's like October and it's like kind of frosty, and I'm like,
You know how much I
the
wish I
fuck
could
are
do
you
that? I could just get
doing?
up, just fucking ass crack of dawn
I
and be
don't
able to just up and jump
Yeah,
out the
I
window.
don't have the motivation.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm pretty good at waking up in the morning. Like we are like you wake up slower than I do. I've learned over the years, especially now that we've got our daughter.
Yeah.
Like you are a much slower riser than I am, whereas like I can wake up and I can kind of get up and go. I'm still like groggy, but like I can get myself going a little better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I get up and I got like at the most like 20 minutes, and I gotta be out the door.
Yeah.
So if I don't pre-program the coffee to start up in the morning,
Right.
then I'm lost in that. And then it takes me, I guess, I look at the clock and it's like
And that's fair
6:30.
too.
It's like
Like
6:30, and then I'm like, okay, and I put on my clothes, and then it's 6:40.
yeah.
How did putting on my clothes take 10 minutes? I swear
Right.
there is there's
You
some
said that yesterday morning
yeah. It's
when I
like
woke up
it's
with
like
you.
there's because I'll look at the clock. I'm like, can you fucking slow down, please?
Yeah.
God.
When it's like I feel like that's the big difference too though is that you have to get ready to go do stuff in the morning cuz you work. I'm basically a stay-at-home mom and I work like 7 hours a week maybe just so I can have some semblance of a social
Yeah, you
life.
can still get out. You're not gonna
Um,
drive yourself insane.
right, but it's like I have the luxury of taking my time and I can make myself breakfast and I take care of our kid and
Which is all very
whereas
important,
right, but
and that's why you're doing that, that's why you're in that position.
right.
Because 'Cause I'd
And it
rather have you do that
then somebody
and
we don't know.
and our daughter get to know mom,
Yeah,
and instead of, somebody random, somebody
right.
that we don't know, somebody that is
Well,
unrelated to
and
us.
then this way too, we're not missing out on her big life events because it's like we have the
Right.
we now have the opportunity of when you come home, I can tell you with confidence, like if some like say
This, and this happened,
right, like
and it was awesome.
and it was awesome, and you're not hearing that through a family member. You're hearing that from your wife
Right,
who
exactly.
birthed your child.
Yeah, and I can 100% trust,
Right,
and the minute that she came into this world, I have no doubt of your mothering skills.
which
You
I love
you
that you were so confident in me.
you took that head on, and you're doing absolutely wonderful with it.
Thank you. Because I I never doubted myself, but I did question myself a little bit, I guess, of I guess how naturally nurturing would come to me because I am not a very patient person and I it's something I've been working on, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Um
We all have our
right,
our
but
line.
and I've told you this before, but when I was a teenager, my mom and I would have talks at length of um like she would ask me like, "Well, where do you see yourself in X amount of years?" And almost every time I'm like, "Well, I would love to have a family, but I just don't see myself, being a mother." And it was because I didn't think and this is such a like cliche thing to say at 15 years old, but sorry. But I just didn't think anyone would love me permanently enough to have a family with me because I knew people would want to love me, but in a temporary way and not long enough to start a family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
momentarily. It's
And
gonna be or
then
temporary, sorry,
right, and
and
then and
and
then
it'd be gone.
here comes Dylan in my life. We
Trotting
get
in.
we get we get put together because we didn't like fall into each other's lives. We were put together like puzzle pieces by our
We did
friends.
know each other before, but
But we didn't
slightly.
know each other. We met.
We met.
We met so we went to the same high school. But we met through our journalism class very briefly
I love this
when we
story.
went on an ad sale together. And then
I was all nervous because, like, I
no,
didn't
we
have
were both
my normal
nervous.
partner to go on ad sales for our yearbook was not there. So I
Yeah.
didn't, but you have to have a partner. You
And
can't be just going out by
I didn't
yourself.
have a consistent partner because it was a group of 4 of us girls, and we would just go off together and do ad sales, the 4 of us.
What time of year was that? Was that it
That
was
was, like,
'cause
springtime.
it was 'cause it was still really cold.
Yeah, so it was
'Cause that was
but
one
it
of the
was it was nice enough that I was just wearing sweaters, so it was either fall time
I
in
think it was
football
early
season,
spring.
or it was
Well, what
early
time does
spring.
the yearbook come out, or when we were working on it?
Fuck if I
Do you
remember.
no, I don't remember either.
I don't remember that was my sophomore year, and I don't remember much about my sophomore year because that's
Yeah,
when
cause you still had your platinum hair
yeah,
that was,
I
like,
had
purple a little
I
bit.
had platinum blonde hair, and then when I did my hair, I had split it in the middle, and I took the top layer of, like, half of my hair, and I dyed it, like, an electric purple, and then the rest of my hair was like a white platinum blonde, and I did that because I had, like, a scene hairstyle, so it was like the purple was going into the blonde, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The inspiration for that hair color in the style was, one of the people from My Digital Escape. Well, I mean, I guess both of the girls from I know you don't know what that
Yeah, I
is,
don't know what that is.
but, they were a very emo, vlogger, um, YouTube channel, and there was, like, 6 of them. I think it was, like, 4 guys and 2 girls, and I really liked them because I was emo.
Yeah.
So I looked up to them and
Yeah, you're completely opposite of me.
yeah, we
Well,
are very, like, opposites
yeah,
attract
let me
type couple.
let me just, like, just jot out who I was.
Yeah,
I didn't talk. I was very quiet.
yep,
I was not quiet with my friends, but that's it.
Yeah.
And I wore flannels, just button up flannels all the time.
Mhm.
And but then, oh, I get paired with this very
Loud,
eccentric.
annoying, extroverted. I'm very much so like a you unapologetically be yourself type person,
No,
and
you
you do
said it
not
how it
let
was.
anybody stand in your way. I'm very, very blunt and honest, but I
Oh,
also
don't you
like
know yourself so
I
well,
do
huh?
I do also like
Confident.
yeah, it's because 'cause I'm a Leo rising.
Oh my god. You forgot your rocks.
My
You
rocks,
didn't bring them
they're in
in
the
here.
other room. I don't
Ah,
need rocks
close
for
enough.
this. But anyways, so technically we did know each other before we were dating, but we didn't like we
But
weren't friends or we weren't
the
close.
funny thing was, I didn't have a lot of experience with, being with somebody
Mhm.
or just,
I did.
you know, well, and yeah, so at the moment at that time, I was single, I was very far single, so there was nothing even resembling to anything around that point of time,
Mhm.
and but I get paired with this with this girl that I've seen in passing in the hallway, and, okay, I gotta take this girl, and with my morals, how I was raised, I gotta you know, open the door, be nice,
Which I
and
loved about you
but
because
I gotta walk.
every
It's cold out, and I gotta walk this girl out that just was voluntold by the teacher, "Go with me," and I have to drive her around in a 50-plus-year-old truck.
which I
I'm like,
also thought was cool.
which I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if she even, like, thinks, "Oh, wow, I gotta ride in this fucking pile of
I
shit,"
no, because I
and
remember I remember because it was
well,
cold. Hold on.
hold on, hold on,
Oh god.
hold on. The one thing is, like, because I kept apologizing, because after I started it, I had to go, walk out, I had to open my hood, and then I had to turn on a valve
That's
on
where I
top of the
was
engine.
going with that thought.
Because I was like, "I gotta turn on the heat," so I
Yeah.
had to get out of the truck and then turn on the valve on top of the engine to let hot coolant go into the heater
Yeah.
core, and
And I
but
thought that that was cool.
yeah, that is cool.
I thought that was awesome because I'd never been in a truck like that before, and I thought that that was so unique, and I'm drawn I was like, when
Yeah,
we
you
were
were
teenagers, I was drawn to the unique people. I never
yeah,
I never
I
had
didn't have
a
a fucking
right.
$20,000 lift kit on a fucking because
So, like
well,
yeah,
where we grew up, it was pretty much a hick town, alright?
yeah.
And so, it was the big vehicle people because it's very vehicle, uh just what you drive
Your
kind of
vehicle is who you
tells you.
are, yeah.
Yeah, it tells you who you are, and then there's places that don't have that, like, they don't care. It's like you just drive something. But
Yeah,
here, what you drive says who you are. So if you
right.
drive a pile of shit, you are a pile of
You're a
shit.
pile of shit, yeah.
So it also causes a lot of fucking like,
Self-worth.
uh, s
Like
like,
an
you
ego problem?
it's a very yeah, ego
A
problem.
lot of
That's
I
why
wanna say there
that's
was a lot of people in our school that had very, very bad egotistical issues because it was such a small town. So nobody was like nobody there wasn't any um like nobody was checking each other. You know what I mean?
no.
And I could cuz I got a lot of pushback because there was a lot of jerks in my class and I always called them out because I'm like, Don't be a fucking
Well, no,
dick to
you
people
gotta
for
do
no
that.
fucking reason." That's what I mean.
All those meatheads and
Nobody
shit.
was doing that. So, like, I was that person. I got a lot of
Okay,
shit
so
for it.
that was me. That was who I was, but I didn't say anything. I just kept I was like an observer.
I said it.
Yeah, that's why I liked you. I like you, because and
You don't like me
I
anymore?
constantly say I wish I knew you before we were together because
I still say you would not have liked
I
me.
swear to God I would have liked you because I'd have had appreciation. I'd be like, all these things I think about, but I can't bring myself to tell those assholes. This girl goes, "Hey, fucker."
I wouldn't have said that.
Sure.
Not, "Hey, fucker." I would have just been like,
Hey,
"Can you
asshole, quiet
shut up?"
down.
Yeah. Like, there was one time I remember I was in history class, and it was US history, and we were talking about, World War II when they bombed I'm gonna fuck it up. When they were bombing places.
Holy crap, that's big.
I'm so tired. I cannot remember.
Was it what brought us into the war?
No, we bombed.
Oh, we bombed.
We bombed Japan, I think,
Oh,
right?
you're thinking of the biggest moment in
Yeah,
World War II,
that, we bombed them.
besides D-Day, was
Yeah,
the 2 bombs.
mhm, so that happened, and we were discussing, like
We bombed something,
we
I
we
don't
bombed
know,
a
it was like
lot of
it's
people.
like this might have been insignificant, I don't know.
But, like, we were debating on whether or not, like, our teacher had put us into a scenario where, like,
You are
would you
Nagasaki and you're the
no, no,
US.
no, no, no. They would have said, like, she basically put us like, okay, well, think of yourselves in that position of you have to give the okay to bomb them or to not bomb them. What decision do you make?
Bomb.
And we were, oh my god! And I remember we were all debating it, and it's hard for me to debate stuff because I'm very easily swayed by other people's opinions. I'm not like a firm opinion person, so I don't have a lot of my own opinions.
So
So,
you were very outspoken, but you had no opinions.
yes, and that's still me. I I'm not a very opinionated person because and it's because I'm so open-minded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's hard for me to
Well, it's really healthy to keep yourself open-minded,
but
but
sometimes but
you don't
it's
want it too open-minded because then you just kind
that's my
of you have
problem
no
though.
root.
I don't have a root.
Yeah, you do.
I've got no roots in my home.
In
I
my
don't
body.
no roots in my butt. Sorry.
Nightmare.
But
We went from journalism to World War II. Um,
we actually were starting to talk about it started with uh our dating story and then that went back to journalism and then we
because that
ended
was the
up
very beginning.
yeah.
But the one thing was, I had to drive around our town with this girl that I just met, and she had crazy hair, and she was like, I was like, wow, I didn't even notice that you even existed until then. And I was like,
Yeah.
and so I'm all nervous, and I'm trying to, and I drive past, my grandparents' house, and he owns a farm, and I see everybody outside, and it's not hard to miss my truck because it's the oldest thing on the road,
Mhm.
and so they drive by. And it was funny because it was cold, but the window was down because your hair was blowing around.
Yeah.
Because
The
I
windows were
saw
down.
them of course, see me, and I'm like, oh, they absolutely see this blondie in my truck. I'm like, I'm gonna hear about this from him the next time I see him, and of course, the next time I see him, he's like, so who was that blondie in your truck? But I remember we
At
were
least he asked.
yeah, oh, I knew he was,
Yeah.
because he saw me, and
I love him.
that's so funny. But, because I remember we went to sell an ad,
Yeah.
and we were waiting for somebody, and I had, like, the clipboard, and we were standing on the back of my truck because it's a 1964 pickup,
Yeah.
but it's not lifted, but everybody thought it was because there's a model that it's called, it's a Highboy, and that's why it's, it's a F-110, so it's a four-wheel drive Highboy custom cab. So those are naturally taller because they were four-wheel drive. And but everybody always thought it was lifted. So I was able to just stand in the back of it and have my clipboard and everything kind of like stomach level, so I can write.
Yeah.
And we were kind of silent, so it's starting to kind of get awkward because we were just waiting. And I remember you were like, "I like your truck."
That sounds like me trying to break the ice somehow.
And the entire time I was like, "Does this girl like me? What's going on?"
You know what? I did think you were attractive, and that's why I
It's because
was
I had
kind of
more hair.
awkward. No, that's
It's
not
because I had more
it.
hair.
It was you were wearing a leather jacket that day.
I was?
I
I
think so.
wait a sec, yeah, I did have a what? No, I
Mhm.
wasn't. I was?
Mhm.
Man, I must have thought I saw
You had a leather jacket on, and you had jeans on, and you
hello.
had your hair real short, and it was like kind of spiky a little bit.
Oh, I think that was just recently after I was like they did, like, some kinda thing
I think so.
for, like, it's like you dress up as something,
Yeah.
and I dressed up as a '50s greaser.
It must have
So I
what?
cut my hair
It
short,
was fall time. It
and
was
I
fall time because that would have been for
and
homecoming.
I had Converse, and
Yeah.
I rolled up my jeans, and I rolled up, like, because you can't, of course, bring a fucking pack of cigarettes into this school, so I took a pack of cards, and I rolled it up in my
Yeah.
sleeve. Like, just
Yeah.
slicked my hair back, and I wore a
You were hot.
leather
You're
jacket. I
still
fucking
hot.
love that.
Yeah.
Fucking love that
But
doing that.
I remember you didn't have a partner, so she wouldn't send you out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything special. and I was nervous because you were cute, but I wanted to go. But I didn't want you to think that
You're eager.
I was yeah, because I was always so self-conscious that boys would think that I was trying too hard and then
No,
not like me because I did try too
all
hard a
guys are
lot,
suckers. Just
not from
show
my
us a little bit
experience.
of attention. Got him. Got
Not
him.
from my experience.
From my experience, because 'cause I'm a guy.
Okay. Well,
I show another guy attention, he's like, "You're
I
mine."
had to try quite hard for all of the men I had in my life. Um, but no, that was a fun day. That was a good day. But then, like, after that, we hadn't spoken to each other
No,
at
no.
all.
That was just
We
that
kinda
one
just,
time.
like, forgot about
And
each
then I
other.
was like, um, I was talking to one of my friends, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Do you
We were
know?"
both in, like, dating ruts.
Yeah, because I was going through a hard time, and I was like,
Mine was
I
because
thought nobody fucking liked me. I was like, "I'm not gonna ever get with anybody."
my dad had just left, and I was going through a really rough time with a
That's a
guy
whole
I was
that's a
seeing.
whole 'nother thing. I'm really happy that I was able to get with you when I did.
Me too, because who knows how I would have ended up if it wasn't you that I was with.
Or if you were with nobody, because then I'd have been afraid that you would have fallen into the stereotype of having problems with your father, you know,
Mhm.
that whole stereotype.
Yep.
And that's why I'm really happy I was there when I was, because he, instead of just all that being, you have no way of expressing that because your relationship with your mom wasn't the fantastic at the time.
I'm convinced that that's because of my father.
Well, it was also because you're still coming out of adolescence.
Looking back, I really think my dad had a lot to do with
Well,
it
that's part of it as well. Yeah,
because I'm so easily manipulated and he was my father and I trusted him and I had a great relationship with him. He told me a lot of lies about my mom that I now know that I believed because I was friends with my dad and my mom had to be the strict parent. So I didn't have a great relationship with her because she wasn't allowed to be fun. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why I didn't
Really
have a good
weird,
relationship
really,
with my mom.
really odd. Like, not power dynamic, but just a dynamic in general there going on there. You know,
It was weird. Not weird, it
because
was hard.
because after looking back at that more and seeing like how people truly are,
Mhm.
it's like because your mom was louder than your dad, to in my experience.
Louder?
Like just more, not loud, but like just more
Like fun?
upfront, you
Oh,
know. But then after seeing all this all new information that comes to light, it's
my
like
dad has always had
is
anger problems. I wasn't there for it, but there was I'm like if I'm remembering this correctly, I'm 95% sure that he full on went crazy on somebody's car with a baseball bat in the middle of traffic
in
one
the
time.
middle of traffic.
Like on the main road
Really?
in the next town over. I think.
Maybe that's why.
But he
Maybe that's
had a
why
lot
that
of
cop that
problems.
pulled you over didn't really like you too much. Saw your last
Mhm.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. You can be able to change that now.
I still have to figure that out.
Yeah, 'cause that was the whole thing. And yeah, but uh, yeah, and because when you got pulled over in my truck, and then you got
Oh,
pulled over again, you got pulled over in Williamston,
so
right? And then you got pulled over, and then we covered it with that cop because it was like,
yeah, so I was out with my friend and my cousin because I we were having like a girls' night
God,
out because
this is a confusing bullshit. This
you
was.
had two of your friends over because you were doing a COD LAN
Yeah,
party
you were doing
in
a
the
fucking
apartment.
LAN party, what,
Yeah,
2019?
yeah,
God, that was awesome.
that was so fun to come back to. But we were out at the indoor mall because I was Valentine's Day shopping for a dress.
Yeah,
Um, so I took them and we were heading back, and the cop in that town was he pulled me over and I thought he was pulling me over because I didn't use my blinker to get over because I didn't know that your plates were expired. So
yeah, me either. That was terrific.
he goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I was like, "Yeah, cuz I didn't use my blinker." And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh." And he goes, "No, your plates are expired." And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like this isn't my truck. It's my fiance's or my boyfriend's. We weren't
Yeah,
engaged yet. I said it's my boyfriend's. Um my truck, because it's what at right after my grandma gave me the red one, and it wasn't legal yet. And this was literally a month
Mm,
before COVID started.
those before you still had that Silverado.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
so
you still had the Silverado, but
the
I think the
Silverado
wheels
was
were fucked up
broken.
on it.
Yeah, the wheels were fucked up on it, and
Yeah.
then my Dakota was here because it was all torn apart because the wiring was fucked up.
Yeah, we were trying
We
to
tore
start
the
working
dash
on that,
apart.
but then I realized something
It's
chewed through a bunch of wiring
yeah,
and it's lost.
but
It's lost.
I got pulled over and I explained the situation. He goes, yep, that's fine. Um, I'll
She
just let
she
you off
she
on a warning for right
she
now."
called
And I was
me
like,
and
"Cool."
I explained to the cop that I had no idea that
He was
reg
really
the
nice.
registration was expired because I just got the thing. I just got it, and when I got the title in the mail, it wasn't even in my name. It was in my sister's name.
Mhm.
And because I traded in a car that used to be under her name, but I bought it from her and then
Yeah.
had it for a year
So they
under
just, like,
my name.
transferred the names
No,
over
no, no,
without
no.
even thinking
But
about it.
I transferred the car name to my name, and it was like that for a year.
That's weird.
And then I just traded in that car for that truck,
Yeah.
and then it was under my sister's name. So for a moment, my sister owned that truck.
Yeah.
But and it's still today, still is the same. The registration expires on her birthday. I had no idea. I had no idea
Yeah.
because
But
it's supposed to expire on your birthday.
right. So, needless to say that his truck was the only vehicle we had that was running, so I had to take it places. So we went back to our apartment, we hung out for a little bit, and then my cousin was able to walk home because her dad didn't live far from where we were living at the time, but I had to take my friend home. So, I go to get on one of the back roads
Yeah,
because I knew the plate was expired, and the cop ran a red light to get me.
they can do that.
I know they can do that. But because I didn't know he was a cop, and I remember watching him run the red light, and I was like, "What is this motherfucker doing?" And then whoop, I saw the lights, and I was like, "Fuck." But he,
Isn't it funny how on top of it they were with the
yeah,
registration? And now it's just, no, nobody gives a shit.
yep,
I still see cars driving with no license plate at all.
yep.
It's like
Um,
it's insane.
so I pulled over for him, and I go, I'm so sorry. Like I was completely honest with the fact that I had already gotten pulled over once because I was like, honesty is the best policy here. I'm aware. And I explained to him it's our only vehicle. I have to take her home. And he goes, well, couldn't her mom pick her up? And I was like, I didn't even fucking think of that. Like, but honestly, she was in the car when I got pulled over the first time. So if her mom was able to pick her up, don't you think we would have done that? If you know? And he was
Well,
just kinda snooty the whole
I give
time.
them a benefit of doubt because how many times do they gotta run? They gotta do the same situation over and over again. Somebody fucking doesn't have their car vehicle's not registered, and then they gotta hear some sob story. "Woo, woo, 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 woo."
But at least
But
I was like, I
but in your sense, it's like you weren't bullshitting. You weren't trying to play him to just
well,
get
and
off
it's
a
like
couple
not like
more
I was like,
days.
"Oh, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah." I told him, like, "I already got pulled over once,
Right.
but this is the only vehicle I have." It's not like I was trying to get out of it, I was being honest with him. And he let me go off of a warning too, because he was just like, "Whatever." He didn't care. He was just kind of a his tone of voice, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah. And you
But,
blamed that on your last name.
yeah, because
All back now. We're
my
back now. We made full
yeah,
circle.
so
We
because
are back now.
my dad does not have good relationships with the authority in the area,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and that's why we're excited for when we're able to get
if
your last name changed now.
then I'll have the same last name as my husband and my daughter.
Yeah. I always forget. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, she's got my last name.
She does have your last
Yeah.
name.
And
I made
well,
sure she had your last name.
I hope so. God, whose last name is I don't know. I don't care.
Last name is Steinberg. We know no
Stein,
Steinbergs.
Steinberg.
My back hurts.
Yeah, almost out of this coffee. That's fairly strong.
Really? I have like half a cup left.
Ah, it's lukewarm in the Luke room. Mm. Ah, so we're on the on topic of traffic.
Yeah.
How about
How about roundabouts?
roundabouts? Yeah.
Roundabout these nuts. I don't know. They're fucking dumb.
Uh,
What
that
were
was a
we
nice try,
what were we complaining about earlier, traffic wise?
traffic wise. Mm,
What was it that frustrated us?
I don't
Where
know.
were we?
We were in Frandor.
Oh, we were getting off the highway and they had so we went on Wednesday to go get the equipment for the
I
podcast.
don't really think this is that big of
No,
a
no, no,
deal.
no. Listen, we we went on Wednesday and the exit for the mall we were going to was closed, so we had to go the long way around.
The exit
So
that goes onto a
today,
one-way road, which one-way roads can kiss my ass. I
yeah,
fucking hate one-way roads. I hate
but
cities. I
so
hate one-way roads.
they had that closed. So we assumed because the sign said both signs still said closed. We assumed that that was closed. But the
Started sounding
codes
like a
were all
speaker there.
moved. I'm like, "What the fuck? If it's not closed anymore, take the fucking sign down." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was confused. I don't like being confused because 'cause I'm already naturally
You're
confused.
very loud when you're in a vehicle, even if you're not even
I
driving.
have road rage.
Yeah, even when you're not even you're passenger. Why is this sign not taken down?
I'm just a loud person.
Like, okay, calm down. The sign is
I
it's
don't
still
like being
there, but the
fuckeried.
road is
But
accessible.
but we
Oh,
had to last minute get off because there's no
how about back when there was COVID and there was no traffic on the roads at all, and everybody was like, "Hey, this is a great time to fix all the fucking roads." Remember that?
yeah, and then they didn't fix the fucking
I was
roads.
the only one. We were the only ones on the road because
Yeah.
both of our jobs were the only jobs that were still working.
Yep. Um, and they had to give us letters. So if we got pulled over, we could say, "Sorry, I'm going to work. I'm not going to a friend's house.
That's so goofy
I'm not
though.
gonna spit in somebody's face."
So goofy. One car on the road. Hey, where you going? Where you going? You gonna go
But
make a bomb?
it's
Where you
like
going?
it's like when you're out at 3 a.m. driving
You must be
around
doing
and
something.
then
You must be
somebody
doing something
wait,
not right because
but
you're out about.
it's like when you're out at 3 a.m. driving around and then somebody else is out at 3 a.m. driving around and you look at them and you're like, "I know why I'm out. Why the fuck are you out?" That's what that's like. It's the same scenario but different
Fucking.
context.
I know who you are.
Oh my god.
I can't remember that full quote. I
What was
love
it
that. It's my
again?
favorite quote in the whole thing.
What was it?
It's I don't remember his name. Come on, you're the Shrek movie person. Come
Oh,
on.
it's from Shrek?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not the monster here. You are.
Yeah.
You're a monster.
I don't know why I'm out. I know why I'm out. But why are you?
What is that guy's name?
I
John
almost said Count Olaf.
Luthglow?
What?
Count Olaf?
No, I thought you talking about
He's
the
his
character or the actual
the
actor,
actual
the voice
actor.
actor?
He's also in Third Rock from the Sun, and he plays the Trinity Killer in
Dexter.
Dexter.
Yeah, that show.
Uh,
That when we first started dating, that was the show we started watching. Brand new.
the
Just
very
started
first show we
dating,
watched
and
together.
we both sit and cuddle and watch. Literally,
Dexter.
Dexter. I fucking love that show.
And I remember when you heard that the next one
I
was coming
lost
out,
my
you lost
shit.
your mind. But it was cool. We watched it. It was awesome.
Finally, it was kind of underwhelming
Yeah,
a little
it was
bit
a little bit
because
not what
it sucked because in the first actual show it just ends because he runs. He pretty much fakes his death.
yeah.
And but then when I first was watching the show, I was like, "There's no way that they can let him off the hook because then
Yeah.
it's just going to promote being a serial killer, being a smart serial killer." But then with the next season, the new one, I was like, they're not going to let him off the hook this time again, aren't they?
Didn't he have to kill himself?
No, no.
He died, didn't he?
Yeah, his son shot him.
Oh yeah.
You know what's just cool? The same kid plays his son still in the new
Yeah.
one. I find that so cool. They didn't trade out kids. It was the same kid.
I like it when shows and movies do that. They use the same actor consistently.
Yeah, watch that show. If you haven't watched that show, watch that show.
It's awesome.
I love that show.
What other shows did we watch? I remember when we watched the Pink Floyd movie.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
that? We went
God,
to Bath and Body
I love
Works
watching. I loved that
and we
when we
got
watched
some
that
face
movie.
masks and we had like a spa day and then we made some food
No,
and we
and just for
watched
the
a Pink
record,
Floyd
I
movie.
let her do. Where I was like, what do you want to do
He
today?
let me pick.
And she wanted to do a spa day, and I was like, you know what? All right, let's do it.
He's always been very giving when it comes to date
Well, that's
days.
one of the really good pictures was from, and it's because we were just hugging, and we both got those fucking nose strips on, like all goofy and
That's not
stuff.
from that day though.
That's not from that day. Okay,
No. It's from a different day.
But, yeah, we watched the Pink Floyd movie, you know, that movie you're supposed to be on, like, LSD to watch. I still think it's awesome to watch it without being on LSD,
For the record, we are sober all the time.
except with coffee. I don't really drink either. I don't
Yeah.
I
Well,
used
even
to,
if we
but not
drink, we're
even
not
that
drunk.
bad, but I just don't.
It's like a social drinking. It's not like a we're not drinking to drink. We're
Yeah.
drinking because it
I
tastes
might
good.
have a small drink very here and there,
Yeah.
but I don't know 'cause, uh,
I don't like being inhibited like that.
it's not fun for me.
No.
Like, like, because there is I feel like that point is a lot shorter for me because I'm, like, fun. It's like, "Okay, okay, we feel okay," and then immediately, as soon as things start spinning, after, like, 10 minutes, even drunk me is like, "Okay, this isn't
Well,
fun anymore.
do you
I'm done."
remember at one of your birthday parties? I honestly think it's also the type of alcohol for me. But
Oh, that definitely
we
plays
had
into
the
it.
sangria, but I had like the sangria that that he- our friend brought.
Was
Um,
that dessert wine?
mhm.
That stuff
And
was awesome.
it was delicious. But I had that and then I had like a few mics and then you made me like a mixed drink and it was just so many different types of alcohol mixed
Especially they were
together.
sweet too.
Do you
Yeah.
remember that I got real sad?
No, because remember I was outside?
I got sad because you were outside
Oh,
for some fucking reason.
my
But
fucking birthday, come
I
on.
guarantee you it was only because of the alcohol.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Because I just got so emotional and Stevie
Yeah,
was
because that's what
there.
alcohol does. It's a filter.
Right. But I
It
got
melts that
so
filter away.
sad. And I was like, like I don't even remember. I mean, I do remember, but like I don't 100%. I don't remember why. Um, but I was just like, I don't want to ruin his birthday party, so I just went to fucking bed. And I wasn't even like drunk. I was like starting to get there, and I was like, I don't want to find
I
out
still
where
have
this
never seen
leads
you drunk.
because I don't want to find out where it leads.
I think what do you think, you're gonna beat me? I hate you.
If
I hate you.
if my
I
family
hate you.
lore follows what I've been told,
Eh,
which
you're
I'm
not gonna complete.
seriously
You're
questioning now,
not gonna
but
do like a complete 180 on your personality just because
some
you
people
drink.
do.
Mm,
Some people do.
well, that's
One of my coworkers got
well, you,
divorced because his
do you
partner did a
have
180.
there's signs, there's small signs because alcohol is literally just it gets rid of the filter and puts a spotlight on your true personality
It
because
also depends on the type of alcohol though, because like wine is a sad alcohol. Tequila is a happy alcohol.
it's all the same for me. I just get giggly.
Really? Because
Yeah.
it's supposed to all depend. There's
It, I,
one
it,
that's anger. I don't
the
remember
one
which one's
the thing
anger.
that is that depends is it being having sugar in it. Because if it's just
Oh, that's
sweet,
fair.
then it's probably gonna give you a headache. You're probably gonna have a pretty bad hangover
That's fair.
unless you drink some Pedialyte beforehand. Um,
Stay hydrated.
oh yes, damn. That's what I do when
Just
you
I
just
always make
drink
sure
water and just
if I like have alcohol, I always make sure I have it with a meal, and then I follow it almost immediately with a
s-
giant ball jar of
especially
water.
because we touched on this. Fucking water. Drink water. Drink water. It's good for your kidneys. It's good for you. It's
Yeah.
good for your kidneys. Drink water. Because my mom was she had 2 kidney transplants. So kidneys were her number 1 priority.
Mhm.
Drink water. You thirsty? Drink some water.
Her kidneys and her skin.
Just drink some
I
water.
remember she was always on me about my skin because we had the same skin type, you know? So she always tried to make sure that I wasn't like burning and that I was wearing sunblock and I was putting on my lotion because she was self-conscious about her skin.
Yeah, because her anti-rejection
Yeah.
medication, it screwed up her immune system
Well,
so
that and
bad.
she went tanning so much when she was a teenager.
Yeah, because she
Sh
worked at a tanning salon,
Yeah,
and so she tanned a lot,
I don't care
and
about tanning. I'm
it
pale and I
she
accept
had
it.
it wasn't, I forget what it's called, but it wasn't life-threatening skin cancer.
It was
It
benign.
Yeah, but it was called something because it's what gave her all the she had a lot of, just tiny little bumps. You remember that?
No.
You know, all the little bumps all over her skin that literally
Oh,
all over, and, half of that was also symptom of her medication that
yeah.
but she couldn't go without, like, there was one time she went without that medication, and she started after because
You said she cleared up.
she cleared up because it's literally a symptom of the medication,
Right.
but that medication is what kept her out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd have to go on dialysis constantly
Yeah.
to get her blood cleaned because, that was it was her skin was clearing up, but her body was starting to kill the kidney because
Right. Because it wasn't hers.
this wasn't by choice. It was because she literally couldn't get the medication. No,
Right.
they didn't have it, and so she went because she's supposed to take it
Didn't she go weeks without it?
1 week,
1 week.
but it was because she's supposed to take it morning and night, just like a bunch of pills morning and night every day.
That basket's still up there with all
It's
her
gonna stay up.
medication in there
It's
because we're not gonna throw it away, but we don't know what to do with it.
Well, okay. We're gonna since we kind of it's like, oh, well, the basket's still there. Why did they just say that? So
Sorry.
the reason why I had to like with our whole wedding and stuff is because my mom died, and what was that 2021 in 2021
Yeah.
October 2nd. Okay, and our original wedding date was October 16th, 2021, and so that's why we got we got shit. Oh, is this actually gonna be your true wedding date? It's like, come on,
Because we
give me a
replanned it.
second. Just give me some. Uh, my mom died.
Yeah.
That's why I started. Originally, I was fine. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty positive we're not gonna delay it anymore. But then I started getting annoyed, and I
Right.
was like, yeah, I don't plan on somebody dying this time.
Yeah.
It's really close to me. I don't plan on that. I
And
didn't plan on it last time either.
it's because we did replan it so much so everybody and it's I feel like that heat wasn't towards you at all. You know, it was towards me
Why?
because I
Your future mother-in-law died.
but I change my mind a lot and I always have. So it wasn't it they weren't looking at your mom dying at all as a factor. They were just looking at it as, "Oh, Mary changed her mind again. When is she going to change her mind?" Like it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. It's not going to be the same because not a wishy-washy person, but like interests change. But my wedding, and I know I've said this before, but like when I was a kid, I never
Ooh,
thought about like a wedding day. I just thought about being married. So like I never had a wedding pictured. So I didn't really know what I wanted, but when I knew what I wanted, I knew what I wanted when we were planning.
yeah. You know what's funny, honestly? With I look back on it, I was first unsure because I was like, I wanted my entire family there.
Yeah.
I still kind of feel bad about it because I'm close to my entire family,
Right.
and it's because it's not that big.
Right.
But because we only had our parents and
And
our
it's like
siblings
I do
and
feel guilty about it too, but also I think that was what was best for
well, there
us.
also wasn't enough space because
Yeah.
if I had my aunts and uncles, then you'd have to add yours,
Do you know how many
and then that would have
people
already totaled to about like 80 people,
I yeah,
and 80 people can't fit on that
without
bridge.
our bridal party, without the extended family or with the extended family without the bridal party and friends, it was 80 people.
Yeah,
And I remember I came to that realization when we were originally going to have it at the chapel. And she was like, "You guys can comfortably fit like 120 people in the chapel. But if you're going to have a reception here, it can only be 30 people because that's the only amount we can fit." And I'm like,
right. And it's like that's
and we were planning it so quick that I I was struggling to find a place to have the reception that could do it in the time frame we wanted because I just wanted to get it fucking over with. I was sick of replanning it, and I just was like, well, we might as well if we're because we were going to rent it out because it was an Airbnb too.
yeah.
So it was the chapel, and then they
It
had
was really
the.
nice too. It was built in
It
like
was
it was built in
oh, it
like
was
19.
gorgeous.
It was like an old chapel. It was
Yeah,
built like in what was it? What did she say? Like 1909,
1907,
7, 9.
early
And you could
1900s.
tell when you looked at the windows, it was like it was those old windows, and it had the original organ in it,
Yeah.
and they like fixed it, and they had it
Well, yeah, because
redone, like
it
refurbished.
was a Catholic church for a long time, and then I think she said in the 70s it was repurchased and repurposed as a home,
And that's
and
what that
then
second floor is made into. Yeah.
right, and then
Imagine living in a
like
chapel
I
like
think
that.
she said like 4
Be
years
interesting.
ago, it'll be almost 5 years ago now. She bought it and turned it into a wedding chapel and a
Imagine living there though. That'd be
be
so
awesome.
interesting.
Yep. Can you imagine the ghosts in that place? That was the
Well, they're not
first
gonna be
thing.
evil. It's a fucking church.
I don't know.
Oh.
But she when
Does that
she
ever not or come out of being a place of like holy worship? You know, and evil can be there.
just because it's a holy worship place doesn't mean there ain't bad people lurking.
Aren't you supposed to just, like, hold it crossed to something? "Get out of here!" And then they get out of here?
I don't know.
Get out of here!
I've never had to ward something off before.
Well, usually it's like
But, like, when she told us that it had been repurposed as a home, I'm like, "What kind of shit is this guy?" I'm
God.
always thinking about ghosts, always. So, like, when she said that, I was like, "What
Damn, we
kind
don't
of
got
shit
enough
has
time, but
this guy experienced?" We'll make that a whole
we'll
different
make another one,
episode.
but I
We
love ghost
will have
stories.
to
We
just,
got a
like
couple here.
we will have to just write down our own personal
Oh,
experience
I got
ghost
written down. I got them
stories.
all in my head.
I will have to write mine down because 'cause I've got so
Oh,
many.
yeah, that's right. You do have a
I
lot. I
have a
forgot
lot.
about I remembered one, but I completely forgot
My
about the other one.
family is a very supernatural family. Like, it's more
Sammy.
more on my dad's side with, like, the creepy stuff. My mom's side is more wholesome stuff with, like, family members. Like,
Mhm.
we get a lot of family member visits on my mom's side, but on my dad's side, it's a lot of, like,
It's got skeletons
energy
in his
stuff
basement.
and seeing stuff and just ugh.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's also the cool thing about, being in a just like this house we're in right now.
yeah,
Being built in, like, 1870.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, there's a lot of like, I don't wanna get too far into it, but, like, there's like, my childhood room, which is, like, just sitting right next to us, and at some point, and I'll touch on this at some point, but I saw a ghost in that room, and I'm 100% because the windows weren't open, so it wasn't the curtain somehow forming a perfect shadow of a girl playing with I had, like, these polished rocks that I got from Mackinac,
yeah.
and, um, curtains can't do that, they can't hold the rocks either, sorry, um, but I saw a ghost, I ran to my parents' room, but at some point, the windows being worked on. My dad popped the trim off, and this old metal picture falls out. Like the pictures that were like back in early 1900s,
Yeah.
1800s. One of those pictures pops out of the trim.
We
Guess
still
what? It
have
was a
it.
girl.
It's down in the kitchen
It's
right
still in the
now. It's
kitchen
on the
right
trim
now.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's like maybe was that her? Was that
She
her?
she was probably just letting you know that she was there.
No, it was because she was playing with those rocks.
I That's what I
Remember?
mean. Like, she was making her presence
Well,
known
no,
to you, that way you knew she was there.
she probably should thought those rocks were interesting.
We're saying the same thing, but in different ways.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Never mind.
Male brain. She saw the rocks. She wanted to play with the rocks.
Ooga booga.
Alright. Well, that's what we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
The rocks.
We'll make that a whole different
And,
episode.
I already fucking touched the rocks.
Touch on the rocks?
Touch on the rocks.
Touch the rocks.
No.
Touch them. No, not yet.
You're shitting yourself! Not yet.
Go to the bathroom now.
I can smell you! You're shitting! Not yet.
God,
Well, coffee's gone. We're at 24, so
I need water.
close to an hour. And it's our
I'm
daughter's
sure
bedtime
she's
and
yeah.
bath night. So,
We might as well skip the
let's go.
bath.
You sure?
We'll give her a bath tomorrow. It's
Alright.
late.
Yeah. And I got a headache, so let's
I need
wrap this
some
up.
water.
Oh, yeah, that's what that's exactly what I'm getting after this.
Me too.
So, drink some water. Good night.